Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Tuesday, the 4th of June 2024. In today's Millwall news, we start off with this from the southernnews.co.uk. Lions boss looking for a continued improvement and no more relegation dramas. Neil Harris says the main aim for Mills next season is to avoid any of the relegation drama which overshadowed most of the previous campaign. Harris returned to the club for a second spell in late February with the Lions in serious danger of dropping out of the Championship. He successfully steered the club to safety thanks to a big improvement in form at the Den and some memorable wins on the road, including a 2-1 triumph at eventual promotion winners Southampton in his first game back. But skirmishing with the drop zone isn't exactly an experience he wants to enjoy again, instead preferring to rediscover the kind of cup success which was a regular feature during his initial tenure in the hot seat. Harris said, I think the fans would love to see a bit of stability and an exciting cup run if possible. We haven't had one for a few seasons. The ideal for me is that we would certainly want to be better than we were last year. That doesn't just come because about league position, because ultimately 13th in the Championship is an excellent league position for Millwall Football Club. The club have been very lucky over the last 10 years to have had huge success in League One and then in the Championship, and we want to continue that. 5 straight wins secured Mill's eventual respectable final placing in the table, although Harris is keen to point out that there are many things to consider when assessing what constitutes a decent season. The boss said, how do you define success? Is it going on league position? Sometimes it is. Is it on bringing younger players through and developing our own players? There is a part of that as well, which I would like to do next year. For us, there is a lot of elements as to how we are going to measure success next year. For me, it's to make sure it isn't like last year, where for most of it, the club had been looking over its shoulder. We don't want to be doing that next year. We want to be stable. We want to be moving forward, and then carry on building the blocks that we started in the last 13 games from day one this season. I want to see the team progress, and ultimately, we want to be better. Yes, yes, we do. But we don't want to be boring. We don't want it to be boring. We don't want to be mid-table, not really going up, not really going down. And if you would imagine the way the league is next season, if we get some decent results and just keep plugging away, that we will be near the top. It's all about consistency, isn't it? Now, moving on to this, also from Harris and the southernnews.co.uk. We need competition all over the pitch. Neil Harris returned to work from his summer break yesterday as Mill will prepare for the reopening of the transfer window next week. Oh, here we go. Will we get some signings off then? Maybe we will. So coming in early, the players. Don't think the players come back until the 26th, or is it the 24th? So he's there early. He's got some work to do. Friday the 14th of June is when Football League clubs can officially begin recruiting fresh faces, and the Lions will be keen to do some early business, having released defender Sean Hutchinson and keeper Bart Biakowski. All of last season's loan additions have also returned to the club, meaning there are quite a few positions that need filling before the Championship campaign gets underway on the 10th of August. The Den boss said, at the moment, you look naturally at the players that will probably be leaving this window, Bart and Sean. We need to fill those positions, especially with Japhet Tanganga having gone back to his parent club, which means centre half is an area we need to strengthen. We need competition all over the pitch, but at the top end of the pitch we may be a little bit shy in terms of creativity and goals last year. Keeping key players fit is always important during the season. We have to make sure we've got enough options because the Championship is a crazy league with lots of international breaks, which means lots of games to fill in around them. Making sure there's competition at the top end of the pitch will be really vital for us. Tanganga remains a key target, although Harris acknowledges the Lions will face competition to permanently secure his services from Tottenham. He explained. Discussions take place, and I've been very honest since I've joined the club that I'm a big fan of Japhet. He knows that. Everybody knows that because I've been very public with it. I would like to work with Japhet moving forward, but there's a lot of aspects to it. We made contact with Tottenham and spoke to Japhet's representatives. I've spoken to Japhet a couple of times over the summer already, and we will stay in close contact. Harris added, there's a lot for Japhet to consider during a window, and that's not just in England. He's a very good player who's going to have options all over Europe, and we'll see how discussions continue. And obviously, we hope for a positive conclusion and an opportunity to work with him again in the future. So there you go. Maybe not next season. Maybe in 5 years' time. But there you go. Now, Neil Harris is back. Hopefully he's doing some winning and dealing and going to get some players through the door. Let's have a little catch-up on this. I've shown you this before. This is from footballfragmento.wordpress.com. It is some guy who's doing a blog. He's keeping it updated. It's all the players who are out of contract. And amazingly, we still haven't got... quite a few teams haven't released their retained and released list yet. So these are all the players who are out of contract with their names, and then it says some that they're in talks with for a new contract. We've got Arsenal. We've got a few. Interestingly for us, so obviously, if we're going to try and get some players from other London clubs, Crystal Palace haven't put theirs up. Fulham haven't put theirs up. West Ham and Tottenham haven't put theirs up yet, and even in our own league, Cardiff, we're still waiting for them. I don't know if they're waiting to appoint a manager or what they're doing. I think they've just have appointed the manager. Leeds United, obviously, Leicester City, although Leicester obviously going up, and Plymouth. I don't know if that's their full release list, but there you go. There are some, and I was thinking of trying to go through these, probably just Premier League and Championship, and trying to put together a team of 11 players, and then we could discuss how I thought they would do in the Championship. But that would take a hell of a long time, and I decided against doing that. But I have been picking out a few players, and I want to pick one out now. A player here from Burnley, the second one, Johan. It says here Edmondson. It's not Edmondson, it's Godmanson. Johan Berg Goodmanson. He's at Burnley. He's a winger. He's a left-footed winger that plays on the right. He can also play in several other positions. He's out of contract. He's 33 years old, but he's Icelandic. Obviously, we don't have the best of successes with Icelandic players. The one we signed was a bit of a dud, but he's a Scandinavian 33. He's not an old English lush 33. He's not a fat bloater. So let's take a look at him. He's a player. So he can play midfield. He plays on the wings, which we know Neil Harris is looking for a winger. He does turn 34 at the end of the year, so I think it's gonna be a year's contract at the best. Now that this season that's just gone, he's been starting in the Premier League. Well, you could say, well, yeah, he has been starting in the Premier League, but Burnley were absolutely shocking, and they finished in the bottom places, and they got relegated. He's also still playing for Iceland. Had one appearance. Got 1 goal, 3 assists in 12 Premiership starts and 14 substitute appearances. That was 1,194 minutes, and you can see here plays on the right, played in centre midfield, played outside right, and up front as a forward. See, there you go. He can play multiple positions. So here's his strengths and weaknesses: taking set pieces, crossing, key passes, direct free kicks, holding on to the ball. He likes to play long balls, plays the ball off the ground often, likes to cross, likes to shoot from distance, does not dive into tackles. Okay, sounds good, no? Now here's the thing. Like I said, he's out of contract. He's probably thinking that he could probably still get into a Premier League squad, but he's 33 years old. He's going to be 34 this year. Will Premier League touch him? Probably not. But here's the thing. Burnley have gone down. They've decided to cut this guy adrift. they're not going back in for him. So even though they're going to be in the Championship next year, they decide not to keep him, which is fair enough. But it's not like he hasn't been playing. He's played in 26 games in the league this past season. And you can see before that, he was played a fair few times for Burnley in the Premier League, the EPL. He's obviously not a regular starter, except for in the Championship. He played more games in the Championship, 23 in 22-23 when that was the season they got promoted. He started 23 games, was a sub in 14, scoring 4 goals and 6 assists. So now obviously that was 2 years ago. He's 2 years older. Has his legs gone? Or is he still a decent Championship player? I don't know. But this is, see, if you're trying to get to the top of the Championship, signing a Premier League player, someone who's been at that level, might be something that you might be looking at. So you can see here, he was at Charlton, so he's no stranger to South East London. He was at Charlton 10 years ago, 14-15 and 15-16 in the Championship, scoring 10 goals as a winger, scoring 10 goals. So there you go. For someone who may be available on a free, I'm not saying we should break the bank to sign him, but if there's a deal to be done, maybe we should throw our hats into the ring and try and have a look at this guy. So there you go, Johan Goodmanson, not Edmondson, Goodmanson. What do you think? He's 6'1" as well, 186 centimeters, 6'1". He's a tall lad for a winger. That's not bad. So to have a winger, so obviously everyone's saying we need a target man. If we got a winger as a target man, how about that? Now, moving on to this. I told you, I mentioned it yesterday about the company accounts for 22-23. We discussed it. That blog discussed it. So I'm going to tell you how you can have a look at it for yourself. So you go to Companies House, gov.uk, Companies House, or just go into a search engine. Probably don't use Google. I don't know. I don't use Google. Google's fucking dog shit. And go for Millwall Football and Athletic Company 1985 Limited. You scroll down. You click on this here, filing history. You go down here, this one here, full accounts made up to the 30th of June. Click on PDF, and then you can have a look at Millwall's accounts. And this is what you're going to find. This is it here. And there you go. A lot of the stuff that was mentioned yesterday, just a bit more talking and stuff. And we're not going to discuss that because we discussed that yesterday. So you can see here, it's the finances. There was some concern about the finances of the club because we're relying on one person. So the company continues to be funded by its immediate parent company, that in turn is funded by its principal shareholder CHV and by its directors. So the assisting facility provided to Millwall Holdings is 20 million, with 10 million outstanding at the year end. Additional funding requirements during the year have been met by CHV and certain directors subscribing for new ordinary shares of £10,000 each at par. During the year, 1,692 ordinary shares were issued for cash, raising 16.92 million of funds for Millwall Holdings Limited that have been invested in the company. So there you go. The CHV facility and the £525,000 2013 unsecured loan notes held by the directors and their associates were repayable on the 1st of July 2023. CHV and the loan note holders had agreed that no interest would accrue in respect of the CHV facility and loan notes until the 30th of June 2023 by an agreement dated 30th of June 2023. CHV extended the suspension of interest until the 1st of July 2024, when interest will begin to accrue again unless CHV agrees otherwise. So that's coming up, next month? Now, obviously, this is all, we don't know what's really going to be going on, because it's not really a public company anymore. The shareholders have been drastically reduced. The other loan notes holders have agreed that no interest will accrue on the loan notes until the date on which the company and CHV agree that interest will begin to accrue again in respect of the CHV facility. The repayment date of the CHV facility and other loan notes was also extended to 1st of July 2025. The directors are of the view that, together with the further arrangements referred to in Note 1 to the financial statements, ongoing equity investment and extended loan facility from CHV and the directors provides the company with sufficient access to working capital to fund the operation of the company over the next few years. Obviously, this was signed off in March 24, but this is from up to June the 30th, 2023. As it says there, for year ended June 2023. And then they've talked about the future, what's going on there. Going concern. And let's read this, because this was what everyone was worried about before, the auditors, the private auditors. In assessing the appropriateness of the going concern assumption, the directors have produced detailed cash flow forecasts until the 30th of June 2025. The directors have continued to undertake a range of measures to ensure a prudent running of the organisation. There is a £20 million facility in place from CHV that was drawn to £10 million as at the year end, which does not fall due for repayment until the 1st of July 2025. The directors believe this, in conjunction with the ongoing support for the company's principal shareholder, provides sufficient working capital for the current needs of the company for the foreseeable future, being not less than 12 months from the date of the approval of these financial statements. However, forecasts prepared for and reviewed by the board demonstrate that in most reasonable scenarios, additional shareholder funding will be required, which is not yet guaranteed, as we just mentioned. During the 22-23 season, they raised 16.92 million by issuing more shares to the current shareholders. However, forecast as such, the directors have identified a material uncertainty that may cast significant doubt over the company's ability to continue as a going concern for the foreseeable future, and therefore it may be unable to realise its assets and discharge its liabilities in the normal course of business. The club and directors strongly support the call by the fan-led review in the EFL for a redistribution of income from the Premier League, providing it comes with enhanced regulation to help improve the sustainability of clubs and the ability of the regulator, blah, 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 blah. So now we know why Steve Kavanagh was going so hard for trying to get more money from the Premier League, more of the Premier League's money. It was to fill the void caused by this. So, there's, by the 1st of July 2024, the directors, or whoever, no, was it CHV, or whoever, the directors as well, I think, they need to tell Millwall Football Club whether the interest-free period will be extended or not. MFC need to pay CHV the 20 million or the 10 million that they've already drawn down back to them by 1st of July next year. How are we going to do that? Now, so far, what we've been doing is that CHV have been converting that into shares. But they've been doing that for a fair old while now, I think to the tune of £92 million. And they now literally have like 92.6% of the company. Why would they then convert more to get not just another 93% or whatever? There's going to come a time when you need to pay them back. Now the club doesn't have any money and they don't have any assets, but they kind of do. They have probably one player who they can sell for money and maybe another one as well. In terms of Zion Fleming and Romain Esse, is that going to be them gone this summer? One of them, both of them. and to pay back this loan. Another thing, Millwall obviously MFC secured a 999-year lease on land around the Den, the car park, and the Lions Centre. Now, in order to raise the money that they need to pay back to CHV, which owns MFC, so obviously CHV own 92% of MFC, but they don't own all of it. Do MFC then sell or sublet the land that they've just leased off of Lewisham to somebody else to get money to then pay to CHV? And then Millwall have just sold off on the thing that they worked so hard to get, which is the lease around the ground, and then they just sell it on to pay CHV back the money that they owe them. Or do they do a deal with CHV where CHV then owns the land around the ground? In terms of writing off that 10 million. So we'll write off the 10 million, or it's 20 million that we owe, that you owe us, but then we will then sublet a section of the grounds around the Den. Don't know. We don't know. Obviously there is a third option, which is probably the most unlikely of all, is that we get promoted next season, and the money from doing that then goes back to pay CHV, and then when we're in the Premier League, obviously we're guaranteed vast sums of money, and then we draw out a loan based on the future earnings of being in the Premier League to then pay for the redevelopment around the stadium, and then we still own that, and then we start making money from that, and then the earnings that we get will go to pay back CHV. But yeah, so there you go. Now you know what's going on. Now you know why there was the auditors said there was a bit of an uncertainty. So we wait and see now. Uncertainty and confusion. Why? Now, there was supposed to be a meeting yesterday of ex-shareholders, because obviously, in order to move forward, CHV and I think others as well wanted the shares to be consolidated because there was too many shareholders. It was like 30,000 shareholders. See, it's far too many. Like, you got people with like one share here, one share there, because obviously fans wanted to buy shares in the club, support the club at the time, and just to own a share of Millwall. That's what they wanted to do. So there were like thousands and thousands of shareholders. So when they said, well, there's too many, we're going to reduce it down. If you've got less than 10,000, your shares will disappear into thin air, because we're gonna take them all, scrap them, consolidate them, and hand them to a charity. The charity was the Lions Trust, I believe, and they did that, and a lot of shareholders just stopped being shareholders, and a lot of them very unhappy about that. But see, that was part of the conditions that CHV wanted to carry on investing in Millwall to move forward and to try and bring in outside investment, because they were going to people to try and get partners to come in to take on some of the liabilities of funding Millwall, because they're up to like 90 million now. They wanted to bring a partner to do that, and every time they did, people were looking at the books and going, yeah, this is like a mess. This is just a mess of spaghetti. So part of the deal that they did, they said to all these ex-shareholders, you know what, even though we don't have to, for the next 2 years, we're going to have an AGM just for you, and you can come and it will be like a normal AGM, but we don't have to do it legally, but we're going to do it, and that's going to be part of the deal. Well, so here we go. This is from one of the forums, millwallonline.com. You may know. This is a link. Someone shared this on the forum. Ex-shareholders read this. Mill to invite ex-shareholders to general meeting in June. Now, this general meeting was supposed to be held on the 3rd of June. We have had no information about it. No one has been talking about it. We don't know if this meeting happened. Now, this was posted on May the 24th. So I believe that this was posted before then, because you can barely see it. But if you look in the bottom left, it'll say Mill. It says Mill. The address is listed there, and it says millfc.co.uk/news/2024/May/08. So I think this was first posted on the 8th of May, then it was reposted a couple of times later. This is a link to Millwall's website. So you click on that link, it's gone, disappeared. They've deleted it. Why would they delete it? What's that about? And you think, well, maybe it's just that maybe they've changed the link. Maybe it's just disappeared. If you search for meeting shareholders, nothing. It's not there. You can't find it on the club's website anymore. It's gone. Not only that, but the Facebook page where they posted it, they went to the Facebook page and deleted it. So what's going on? Now, here's the thing. This was put up early May. What happened at the end of May? Steve Kavanagh and the others get the old tin tack. So maybe this was part of what Steve Kavanagh was going to do. The new guys come in and said, look, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore, because they don't legally have to do it. It's just a nice thing they were going to do. It's basically like a fans forum, but reduced just down to ex-shareholders. Now here's the thing, maybe embarrassingly so, because they pissed off a lot of the ex-shareholders. If you wanted to go to this meeting, you had to email an address and say, hey, I want to come to this meeting, put me on the list. Maybe nobody wanted to come to this meeting, or maybe barely anybody, and because they're all pissed off that they're ex-shareholders and they had it taken away, basically someone stole their shares. So maybe they said, stuck two fingers up and we don't want to come, and they were so embarrassed about this that they then went back and deleted everything about it. Maybe they moved the meeting. But here's the thing, you go on the search button here, the magnifying glass, you can search for stories from like 10 years ago. They're all still there. Benign, weird stories, all kinds of things, still there. The post about a meeting that was supposed to happen yesterday, deleted. On the Facebook as well, gone back, scrolling through. You've seen what they've been posting, scrolling through, deleted. If they put it on LinkedIn as well, is it still on LinkedIn or is that deleted? Yeah, kind of weird. I don't know. So I haven't seen anybody mention a meeting on any of the social medias, on any of the Millwall forums. Did anybody go to the meeting? Did it take place yesterday? 3rd of June. Monday the 3rd of June. Did it take place? If it did, leave a comment below. Yeah, so like I said, there's weird stuff going on behind the scenes at the club. In terms of loans and stuff having to be repaid, shareholders meetings, not ex-shareholder meetings. But like, if it didn't take place, that would be one thing. But to delete the story, to delete the Facebook post, probably Twitter post as well, that's probably gone as well. Like, it feels like there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. So yeah, hopefully that's not the case, but maybe it was just a bit of embarrassment, I don't know. But it's all very weird. It's all very weird. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.